Start on anything else, I just want to say personally, thank you to all the men and women who have fought and died for this country, and this day is truly for you. And as a vet myself, my heart goes out to all those families who's had a loved one who has who didn't make it back from the battlefield. And during this moment right now, I just want to take a moment of silence and for respect for those. Thank you. Again, thank you for everyone that's watching here. We're going to talk a little bit about kind of what's on my mind here. And of course, what's on my mind is the NBA playoffs tonight. And Golden State Warriors, Oklahoma City Thunder, Game 7. It's going to be a great matchup. It truly is. There's not going to be a blowout like there has been a few. I think it was Game 4 that was a blowout. This is going to be a tight, down-to-the-wire game. Much like not yesterday, but Saturday's game. Saturday's game was a very close, back and forth, brutal game between the two. And I expect nothing less at this game at all. However, my prediction is Golden State is going to win at Oracle. And here's kind of why. As I said, it's not a real big shock that this game went to Game 7. I think that many people thought that it would be a Game 6, Game 7 victory for one of the two teams. No one thought it was going to be a sweep. The Western Conference is a tough conference. And it really consisted of the Golden State Warriors, San Antonio Spurs, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Those three teams alone are just leaps and bounds, I believe, even above the Cleveland Cavaliers. With that being said, Golden State's broke so many records this year. And, let's just start off with a few. Klay Thompson in Saturday's game, he hit the most three-pointers in a playoff game. Broke Damian Lillard's three-pointers in a game with 11. The Golden State Warriors as a team, they started off at 24-0 before ever losing their first game, which came on December the 12th against Milwaukee Bucks, as a matter of fact. And 24 games before suffering a loss, that's incredible. No other team's ever done that. Klay Thompson, obviously, he scored 37 points in a single quarter against the Kings. That's the most in a quarter. I think he ended up with 52, 53 points. I don't have that on me at this moment. Curry broke his own record from last year, hitting the most three-pointers in a season with an outstanding 402 three-pointers made. That's unreal. I can't even fathom that. And he shot at a 45% completion rating on three-pointers. That's outstanding. When you hit 402 three-pointers and you can shoot at 45%, that's unreal. And of course, they've had the best ever All-Star break record, which was 48-4. The most home court consecutive wins, which was at 53. They've only lost twice at Oracle, and it was to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and of course Game 2 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's again why I believe that Golden State is going to win at Oracle again today. Their role players, their backup players, really seem to shine in front of that home court, and those fans really get into it. And it is obviously a tough place to play for a reason. Steph Curry's won back-to-back MVPs, and what's sad about this, not necessarily sad, wrong choice of words, but what's crazy about his second MVP is he finished 4th on the most improved player list. That is incredible. He was so good last year, but he improved leaps and bounds this year, making him just the unanimous MVP this year. Curry was obviously the All-NBA first team. Draymond Green was an All-NBA second team. Klay Thompson was an All-NBA third team. Speaking of Draymond Green, he was the defensive player runner-up. Many thought that he could have been the defensive player over Kawhi Leonard, and vice versa. There was such a tight race for those two. And of course, Coach Kerr winning the Coach of the Year, which I think that's kind of expected at this point. When you win 73 games, and breaking the Bulls record as far as that goes, you kind of, deserve the Coach of the Year record. So as I was saying, I think it would be sad if, with all these records that they've made and everything like that. It really doesn't boil down to anything if they don't win a national championship. Because that's what people want. They want national championships. They don't want records and stats and everything like that. Yeah, all that stuff's great. Trust me. I mean, Golden State Warriors was chasing 73. They were chasing the record, the Bulls record, the best team in the NBA history. I mean, of course they were chasing it. They did not want to tie it. They wanted to break it. And they did. You know, and it could have put some toll on them as far as everything goes with their, 82 game series. It's hard, and when you play 73 games and you've won 73 of those, and it gets tough. However, they're professionals, and when it comes playoff time, everybody's hurting, and you just got to sit there and go at it. I got my little girl here right now. She may wind up getting in the screen here in a minute, but it's okay. You can come around here. She's not going to now. She's making me look like I'm talking to just nobody. Now, with that being said, Oklahoma City Thunder is no laughing matter. I mean, they beat the Spurs, who were the hands-down second-best team in the NBA behind the Warriors. And they handled them pretty easily. They handled the Warriors pretty easily as well. Those 3 games, they imposed their will onto the Golden State Warriors. They played that bully ball, that big ball, Steven Adams, Enes Kanter. And of course, you've got 2 of the top 3 players at their position. It's arguable if Kevin Durant is the best small forward, and you also have to put in, of course, LeBron James, and some may say even Kawhi Leonard. But hands down, he's one of the top 3 small forwards in the league right now, regardless of who you put with him. And then, of course, Russell Westbrook is, in my opinion, I don't think there's anybody even going to be close to being runner-up to point guard behind Steph Curry. Russ Westbrook is a dynamic, explosive player. He's a triple-double every night waiting to happen, and he is just, hands down, I believe, the second-best point guard in the league. There may be some arguments as far as who third is, and we won't necessarily get into that right now. That may be another video for another time. But they're definitely not a laughing matter. Oklahoma City is not as deep as the Warriors are, and that is one thing that the Warriors have been able to do. They play so deep and they play so good that they've actually been able to, that's what's helped lead them to this 73 games. They haven't won 73 games by 1 or 2 players. They've literally won those 73 games by every single person on their team, showing up night in, night out, going out there, putting it on the grind and playing. And when their backs were against the wall, they came out and shined, and they showed up and they said, hey, their motto is strength in numbers, and I think that suits them great. They are so deep and so talented and so good. There truly is the strength in the numbers there. Now, with this being said, and I truly do believe I'm going to make my prediction, bold or not, I'm saying Golden State Warriors win at Oracle Arena. They go on to play the Cavs, and they're going to beat the Cavs in, I'm going to say today, 5 games. I'm going to do another one of these here probably next Sunday. Try to do this weekly every Sunday. But right now I'm going to say Golden State in 5. That may change, but as of right now, that's what I'm saying. So that leaves the question here is, if the Oklahoma City Thunder lose, and I truly believe they do, where does that leave Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant's entering into free agency. Where does he go? Now, this has been a conversation a lot of sports experts and everything like that's been talking. And I don't claim to be an expert at all. I just have a real strong passion, and hopefully a lot of people want to listen to what I have to say. But I believe if he goes to the East, and keep in mind, I'm throwing the scenario out there that Carmelo stays in the East and LeBron James stays in the East at the Cavs. I'm putting all those in the scenarios. Nothing's really leading me to believe that Carmelo's going to leave the Knicks right now necessarily. Anything can happen. It's the NBA. It's a business. But with LeBron James, you really never know what's going to happen. When he goes into Space Jam 2, those Monstars could really start recruiting him to go play for another team. You never know what he's going to do. But for the principle of this right now, I'm going to say that LeBron James stays in the East. He stays with the Cavs, because that's what I truly believe is going to happen. Now, personally, if I had to say right now, where's Kevin Durant playing next year? I think he's signing a 3-4 year deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he's going to play it out there. He's, again, one of the top 5, arguably top 10 players. I still rank him in the top 5, possibly even in the top 3 players in the NBA right now. So, with that being said, Durant stays with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Him and Russ Westbrook, they have a very good chemistry going on, and they really do seem like they are truly friends. However, if Durant wants to go and he wants to truly feel like he's got a shot at A, winning the championship, and B, being the only top dog on the team, because let's face it, Durant's kind of been a little bit outspoken this year and wondering where his success and his stardom and his praise from all the analysis and everything like that's been. With that being said, if he goes to the East, I think the only team that he goes to in the East is going to be the Washington Wizards. That's the only team I feel like he's going to go to. They hired Coach Scott Brooks for a reason, to try to get him in there, and it might work. Now, if he stays in the West, which I truly believe he will do, again, I think he's staying with Oklahoma City. A couple teams that you might want to keep in mind is the Lakers are losing Kobe, and the Lakers are very young. They've also got the number 2 draft pick in the NBA, which is more than likely going to take Brandon Ingram at that position. If, for whatever reason, he decides to go to the Lakers, they're going to make a push for DeMar DeRozan as well. I believe that they have the cap space to take Kevin Durant and DeMar DeRozan. That could start a great core. DeMar DeRozan has no problem being the Robin to a Batman, and Kevin Durant wants to be the big man on campus again. And I think that would work very well. Then you have the very young talent, Julius Randle. You have D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson. You have a very young core there that could build around Kevin Durant. And I believe he turns them into, if you get DeMar DeRozan and Kevin Durant, that's automatically a playoff team right there. Now, a couple teams that's just interesting to me, and I don't know that he necessarily would go there, but it would be an interesting match, I believe. The New Orleans Pelicans. Now, the New Orleans Pelicans already has Anthony Davis, who, when he's healthy, he's one of the top defensive players, and his offensive game is off the charts. Now, granted, I'm a little biased. I'm from Kentucky. I'm a big Kentucky Wildcat fan. So, obviously, I would love to see this marriage happen because Anthony Davis is about 1 or 2 All-Stars away on his team from the Pelicans just really going and pushing over the edge. Now, the problem with him going to the Pelicans would be Anthony Davis is the face of New Orleans. And I think Kevin Durant wants to be that face of the team. So that may not necessarily keep him there. But I believe they would play well together. Davis holding down the defensive end. Durant, imposing his will on offense. And, of course, Davis can clean up any kind of boards that needs to happen. That would be a great matchup there. And then another one that I was thinking of, which, again, call me crazy, but I am a big Kentucky fan, and I obviously think of the number 1 draft pick last year and the NBA Rookie of the Year, Karl-Anthony Towns. If you paired up Kevin Durant with Towns, Andrew Wiggins, Zach LaVine, that team is one power forward away from just having a superstar lineup. I mean, just you put LaVine at point guard, move Wiggins over to the 2 guard. You've got Durant right there at small forward. You get you a solid power forward because let's face it, KG's probably either retiring this year or next year. I'm not sure. I haven't really kept up with it, but he's going to be gone soon. And or you can move Towns down to power forward, and if you want to keep Pekovic there at center, then you've got that option. Or you've also got the option of playing Durant as a power forward, keeping Wiggins there, and having Rubio run your point. Either way, you've got so many different lineup matchups that's just a nightmare if Durant goes to Minnesota. And with Tibbs being the coach there, Tom Thibodeau, they're going to be a defensive better team. That's a fact. And that's a playoff team, possible contending champions in the next 3 to 5 years. If Durant doesn't go there, I still think if they keep that core there, in the next 5 to 7 years, if they can get them another All-Star or 2, then they could be something great. And they get the 6th pick this year, so hopefully they'll steal in the NBA draft. So, And next week, what we're going to try to talk about is we're going to talk about a little bit more of the playoffs with the whoever wins the West and the Cavs. And I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you very much. My name is Kevin.